Hey, good morning to you. Mark again here, WeatherMan Plus. Good afternoon if you're watching this later in the day. I have big updates for you for your tropical storm, tropical depression Fred, as well as Invest 95L. I'm showing it still has a big chance for being a major hurricane and still looking for the Gulf of Mexico. If you've never been here before, hello. My name is Mark. I upload every single day, just not Friday from sundown to Saturday from sundown. That is Sabbath. But we'll make sure you have everything you covered. And if we have some major hurricane, I will break Sabbath just to make sure you are okay with the correct information. So hit that subscribe button because I am all year around. Plus, I do tropical updates all hurricane season every afternoon. And you saw the power outages yesterday morning, and this is how it was last night. It got really crazy with a lot of power outages from these storms. Even this morning is not much better. Matter of fact, Michigan is over 780,000 homes without power. That's millions of people. Wisconsin still 64,000, Ohio 60,000, Indiana 38,000, Illinois 30,000, and California 37,000. There's a lot of power outages still. Now, as of 8 o'clock this morning, it is still a 60% chance for Invest 95L, and Fred has turned into a tropical depression as we expected, but it is going to be re-strengthening again. Now, NOAA brought the track a little bit tighter, but it still has it as a tropical storm slowly strengthening towards the panhandle of Florida. No tropical storm warnings out yet. It's just tropical storm watches in this yellow. So far, a 3-day rain outlook for Florida as well as the Bahamas. The yellow is 4 to 6 inches, and the orange is anywhere from 6 to 10 inches. And this will change. I predict this will either go up the west coast or up the east coast of Florida. We have to figure out which way the storm is going because we have a cold front coming in, and it's still making a big difference. Matter of fact, the timing is everything. GFS shows that this cold front will come all the way down even deeper and smack this storm when it goes towards Georgia. Euro is showing that it's not going to be that deep of a cold front, and it still makes it all the way to Pennsylvania. 3-day flash flooding has it for Saturday for the marginal, and you have a slight risk for Sunday in this yellow. The GFS is still showing that it will take a nice wide turn and in 72 hours be right here off the west coast of Florida and still curve back towards Apalachicola and turn fast by South Carolina. We have that big cold front coming plus this big high pressure swinging around. Global models are still showing it could go towards Apalachicola, but it's still showing some ensembles where it could still take a western push and going up mostly towards Georgia, but there is some saying that it could go towards Alabama, so it's still unknown. Now, the intensity guidance for tropical depression, tropical storm Fred does show that in 36 hours it's going to start strengthening, and in 3 days it's going to be at its max potential in somewhere around 50 to 60 miles per hour winds, tropical storm. There is one model that shows it still can get up to a Cat 1 hurricane, although that is pretty much starting to get off the table because all I'm showing is a lot of weakening. When you look through the cyclone ensembles according to the GFS, you can see as it comes off of Cuba, it comes off very weak and it starts strengthening to a 1,000 to a 1,010 millibar pressure, which is a very weak system. But as you go past 3 days, you can see it starts getting on an intensification period, somewhat either weak or 3 different directions, 980 to 999. That'd be a strong tropical storm to a weaker hurricane. You see right here in the perturbed members from the Euro that everything pretty much predicts it'll be right here by southern Bahamas, and I still don't know if it's going to go up the coast of Florida or if it's going to be on the west coast of Florida. That part is still up in the air because nothing is really sure until this thing gets off of land. Then as you move forward, you can see it either go over Florida or it could be a little west of Florida by Apalachicola. To turn to the west where it shows where it could go towards Alabama or Mississippi, that would only happen if it delays a little bit longer and then it'll take a western push. It all depends on timing on this cold front. If this cold front comes down, it is a high pressure. It will be blocking it and make it go a little bit western. But if you look for a chance for a tropical storm, you can see that it does have a good chance, all the way up to 60% chance of still becoming a tropical storm within 3 days. And so far, the Euro models are bringing it still towards Apalachicola, a little west of Apalachicola. As we have our Invest 95L moving its way towards the same path. And this is where we picked up the hurricane force winds for days in a row. Now, when you look at GFS, you can see here it is here. This is the vorticity of 850 millibars. This is tropical depression, tropical storm Fred. And as it comes off Cuba, it stays as a weak wave all the way until it gets to western Florida. It looks like it does go over Florida just a little bit and still gets in the west coast of Florida, weakening down greatly. Once it goes over land like that, It's just going to weaken down. Matter of fact, the ensembles are showing that tropical storm, tropical depression Fred will weaken down. And it also shows it has a good chance to still get pushed to the west of Apalachicola. That's because of the cold front. So by Saturday at 8 a.m., it's predicted to be somewhere by the southern Bahamas, and it will move over southern Florida, according to the GFS. Be very weak because it's going over land, not even much winds to worry about. Maybe 25 to 30 miles per hour winds. Going over southern Florida, going into the west coast of Florida, and this is where it don't do much. It just got weak from the land, and it don't have much left to do. It tries to intensify a little bit before landfall, but there's not much left to the system, according to the GFS. So according to the GFS, there's not much winds to worry about, not much intensification to worry about. Within the next 5 days, there will be some heavy rainfall. It's still showing Miami 5 inches, Port St. Lucie 5 inches, and West Palm Beach 6 inches. This is where it comes on its strongest and is going counterclockwise, shoving all that rain and all that wind on land on the east side of Florida. West side so far is 1 to 2 plus inches, and northern Florida 1 to 2 plus inches. That's it as far as the GFS. Now the euro takes it here also, and it picks up Invest 95L. And as you go forward, the euro shows a little bit of strengthening right there on the west coast of Florida as it strengthens towards the panhandle of Florida. Now it's not still showing a hurricane, but it does strengthen to a strong tropical storm. As you see, Invest 95L does get moved through the Caribbean and goes towards the southern tip of Florida. Now at this point, it can either go to the southeast, maybe even intensify, or go in the Gulf and intensify. It all depends on the timing on this cold front. The euro shows that it will go in the panhandle of Florida. The cold front does not come down that far, and it stays intensified all the way onto Georgia. Then it goes into the northeast towards Pennsylvania. Now instead of 8 a.m. like the GFS showed over here in southeast Florida, euro brings it tightening up at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And that 6 hours makes a big difference because of this cold front. Whether it's going to be daytime heating and the storm goes up to the northeast like the euro is showing, or it comes a little bit later and the cold front hits it down to the southeast like the GFS is showing. So there is still 2 possibilities. But the euro takes it tighter up the coast where it'll stay weak because it's land interaction the whole time. And it still will intensify a little bit, and it's not strong. We're talking 30 knot winds, barely a tropical storm, getting up to 35 knot winds. And that's it. It's not showing anything strong with that. So you might get 45, maybe 50 miles per hour winds out of that. That's about it according to the euro so far. The euro brings heavier rainfall, especially for the west coast of Florida. It still brings 3 inches to Miami, 2 inches along the east coast of it. But now it's bringing Cape Coral, Sarasota, even Tampa with 3 to 4 plus inches as it goes towards Tallahassee with 3 inches, Gainesville, Jacksonville, 2 inches. The euro shows that the cold front does not make it that deep down, and it goes all the way to Georgia with 3 inches, Macon with over 4 inches, Athens 4 inches, Greenville, upstate South Carolina 4 inches. Now the H-Wharf for the first time is not showing hurricane right here by southern Florida, but it is showing that this will be a lot of dancing around. As it goes towards Florida Keys, then it switches gears and goes to the east coast of Florida. Then it switches gears and goes back to the west coast of Florida. So there'll be 2 upper level lows. There'll be 2 closed lows fighting for the energy, just like what's happening with Invest 95L. I will show you. So it's still up in the air whether it will go east or west of Florida, because even H-Wharf is picking up that there's multiple options. But right now it still brings it towards somewhere about Apalachicola as a 1009, 1010. Nothing really to worry about. It'll be a weak tropical storm. GFS did show that it would be a possible hurricane as it goes towards the panhandle of Florida. But as you check and see what the trends have been ever since then, it's been showing weakening. It never showed that strength ever again. Now it's just showing a weakening storm and getting even weaker. And when we look through the SpaghettiOs with the euro, you can see when it comes off of Cuba right here, there's a chance for it to get to a 980 to a 999 the whole time it's going across Florida. You never see anything more than that, but it has a chance still to get to a 980, 999. Strong tropical storm, weak hurricane, it still has that opportunity. As Invest 95L moves towards this section right here where we saw the hurricane force winds a whole bunch of times. Now right here, Invest 95L could either go towards the southeast or it could go towards the Gulf. It all depends on that cold front. So it's still about timing. But I'm still showing, as of this morning, that it still has a chance to intensify go either towards the southeast and intensify, or go in the Gulf of Mexico and intensify and still be a major hurricane, either for Texas or go for Louisiana with one a little bit stronger. And while we're dealing with Invest 95L as it comes closer, if that does become Grayson, then this one back here, this next tropical wave, would become Henry, because this thing trucks pretty fast through the Caribbean, intensifies greatly. So we still got to keep our eyes on the tropics. Now this is where the differences are in the models. This is your AO, your Arctic Oscillation, shows you where the cold air come in from the north. And you can see right around the 17th. So the GFS takes it earlier, and it takes it deeper into our country as we go through this month. In the full run with the GFS, with the cold front shows as it comes on land, this is why it weakens when it's right here, and it gets pushed with all this thunderstorms all off into the Atlantic Ocean. So the GFS does show that this cold front will hit it, and it will cause it not to go any further north. You can see that right here. This is Saturday the 14th. This is your tropical storm, tropical depression right here as the cold front starts coming down. And as the storm moves towards Florida, it gets on land, another dip of cold air. Then as it goes closer up Florida, this is where the difference is. This is where the GFS shows that the cold air will come down. It will smack it. It will make it go a little bit left, and it will shear its storms off when it comes down again on the next day, even deeper and cooler air. So it's showing that the cold front will make it all the way to the southeast and demolish this storm. And towards the end of the month, where it showed as deep as cold air, does show that it would be in the 60s for Alabama, Georgia, everybody on the east side of the country. It does show that it will be a very deep cold front that's coming. So that's the difference between GFS and Euro. The Euro shows that it will be all the way to the 18th when this cold front starts, and it won't go as deep. And that would put a heavy line of rain anywhere from 4 to 7 inches all the way up Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and then doing some more heavy rainfall for West Virginia and Pennsylvania as well. See that here. You see how you have your storm according to the Euro, and as it big storm comes up with a lot of rainfall, here comes your cold front, and as it comes on land, the cold front only reaches way up here. GFS has it coming way down here. The cold front not coming all the way down will allow this storm to move all the way up to the northeast and bring all this heavy rainfall towards Pennsylvania. And I'm still showing that when Invest 95L gets over here by the Bahamas, and this is looking for hurricane winds. Remember, we have not seen this all season except for Invest 95L. I'm still showing that the hurricane winds are still growing from the Bahamas all the way across to the Gulf of Mexico and growing in the Gulf of Mexico. When you look through the precipitable water, according to the Euro, you can see tropical storm, tropical depression Fred, and we have our Invest 95L over here. And as you move forward, you can see that Fred goes towards Florida, and Invest 95L follows the same path going right towards the Caribbean. Right towards where we've seen the hurricane force winds. As of right now, Invest 95L has a good circulation going on, but it's still a wave. It's not a low pressure one system. It still has multiple systems, one southern, one northern. So it could put all its energy into the northern part of this wave, which will go through more dry air, bring it to the southeast, and weaken it down. Or it could consolidate to this lower part of the wave, and this will be the one that brings it to the Bahamas, the Western Caribbean, and potential Gulf of Mexico. It all depends on what this Invest 95L is going to do in the next 24 hours. And a lot of models show that in the next 36, especially the next 48 hours, Invest 95L will be on a strengthening phase, and a lot of them show it will be a sharp strengthening phase all the way to a Cat 1 to a potential Cat 2 hurricane. And as of right now, the global models show that it will take that little northern track towards Puerto Rico and Jamaica. So it's going to take the same route that Tropical Storm, Tropical Depression Fred has taken. So it's going to go the same way. So it's all up to this high pressure and this cold front. And when you look through all 30 perturbed members, you can see there is nothing going on with this storm as it comes off Cuba. You have one that shows a little bit of strengthening, but the rest of them all show that Tropical Storm Fred, Tropical Depression Fred will be weak as it goes over Florida. Now, to get a good look and see what the possibilities for Invest 95L is, you can see right here on E16 that it actually builds up by the Bahamas, goes by Florida, then turns because of the high pressure, very strong, come back over Florida as a very strong hurricane, get in the Gulf, and grow even more and go straight for southern Texas. If you look on E17, you'll see that it makes it all the way to the western Caribbean and comes up very quickly in the Gulf of Mexico and strengthens very quickly to a hurricane for southern Texas. If you look on E1, it shows that it'll stay weak for a while as it goes in the Gulf of Mexico and strengthens and goes towards Louisiana and Mississippi. If you look on E20, it shows that it will be right there on the western Caribbean, and it starts strengthening and goes straight towards southern Texas and Monterrey, Mexico. We've seen that a while back. And number 21 right here shows it still will be right here by western Caribbean, and it will head towards Alabama, Mississippi, somewheres in that direction, just like the other one showed. Now the NAM 3K shows that when it comes up on land, it will actually be a little more eastern, and it will actually take that path by Miami, get on land, and start strengthening on the east side of Florida. So maybe the models will catch up. Maybe things will turn a little more eastern because of this cold front. The cold front really has things guessing, if you ask me. But this is pretty nasty, and NAM 3K is within the next 60 hours, so it would be more accurate than a Euro or a GFS model. Now, if NAM 3K was correct, this would be more for the Bahamas. So Western Bahamas, you definitely need to watch on alert for this because this could be an issue, especially with those rain bands. That's some pretty nasty bands that pass over you with some hail cores in them as well. NAM 3K is bringing it earlier than Euro, even earlier than GFS. NAM 3K is showing sometime around Saturday morning at 5 a.m. You will be dealing with all these storms coming on land for southeast Florida as it moves on and strengthens some and still gets a center. And this is a lot of heavy rainfall dropping down right here. So far, somewheres around Port St. Lucie is where it's going your way. That's what we have so far according to NAM. It will just come on land, bringing lots of rainfall, and it stays on the eastern side of Florida. So I'm going to play this so you can see this as it comes on. What time and date is on the top left. And last time our reading was Revelation 17. It was actually 18 last night. So I'm going to read 18 again today because you know what happened from last night. God bless every single one of you, especially others that are out there dealing with this power outage, as well as this heat that's going to happen. We have some strong heat in the seas for today as well. So I do hope you have a great Thursday. Revelation 18. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon, the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. Remember her, even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. And the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. How much she hath glorified herself, and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, and mourning, and famine. And she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her, and lament for her, when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more. The merchandise of gold and silver, and precious stones, and pearls, and fine linen, and purple, and silk, and scarlet, and all fine wood, and all manner vessels of ivory, and all manner vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and iron, and marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God hath avenged you on her. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. And the voice of harpers and musicians, and of pipers and trumpeters, shall be heard no more at all in thee, and no craftsman, of whatsoever craft he be, shall be found any more in thee. And the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee. And the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by the sorceries were all nations deceived. And in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints, and of all that were slain upon the earth. Amen. God bless you all. I hope you have a very blessed day today. If you do have power outages, please, if you still have power in your laptop, plug it up to your phone. You can charge your phone off your laptop. I do hope you get it back. Thank God we wasn't hit as hard as a lot of you. Do me a favor, guys. Share this video if you do use social media. If you don't, just like the video if you did like it. YouTube will suggest it for you. Thank you so much for your help. All glory does go to Yahweh, God of Jacob, the Almighty. Amen. Hallelujah, guys. Time is short. Amen. Have a great day. I will see you this afternoon for the update.